Hey book buddies, Katie here, and today I'm going to be vlogging myself reading New Moon by Stephanie Meyer for the first ever time. So long story short, I just never read the Twilight series and I'm feeling left out. So I've decided to read them, and I've decided to vlog myself reading them so that you guys can enjoy my misery, I guess. I have already posted my vlogs for Twilight, and I will leave a link to that video in the description in case you're interested. One of my favorite things that I've noticed about vlogging is that my favorite times to read are in the evening right before I go to sleep, or in the morning right after I wake up. So that means that all of my vlogs are me in my pajamas, looking very tired with no makeup, messy hair, messy eyebrows, and a messy life. So enjoy that. If Carlisle is a doctor who frequently works with patients, wouldn't they notice that his hands were kind of cold and weird feeling? Alright, I understand why he broke up with her, and I actually agree with it. He should have done it a long time ago, but I mean, better late than never. However, if his whole thing is to protect her, why in the hell would he take her out into the middle of the forest to break up with her? He knows her. He knows she's gonna chase after him. What was he thinking? They were at her house. He could have done it at her house. If he had disappeared at her house, she probably would have tried to follow him on the road. But not in the middle of some forest. She was out there for like 2 nights, laying down in the forest, slowly going insane. He left her in the forest? Fuck this guy. The real hero of these books is Charlie. Bella is a terrible friend. I hate the way this book is handling mental illness. I hate it. I think she just retconned some racism, because in the first book, I remember very distinctly, she did not mention anyone's race except for the Native Americans. And I was like kind of disappointed by that. And I got a comment that was like, well, I mean, it's a small town, so it wouldn't be racially diverse. Fine. But the guys who were about to assault her, their race wasn't mentioned either. So I assumed they were white. And she's just mentioned that no, it was a dark man. I think I'm just hypersensitive to this because I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and I guess it had really bothered him when he read Twilight a long time ago. And so as I was reading the first one, he was like, yeah, weren't those guys who were about to attack her, weren't they the only, like, black people in the book? And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure they were white. So, sorry, Devin, you were right. So, Jacob's talking to his friends about building the motorcycle, and they're really excited about it. And Bella says, many of the words they used were unfamiliar to me, and I figured I'd have to have a Y chromosome to really understand the excitement. I really like Jacob a lot. He's a nice person. Like, he's so sweet. It's kind of a shame that she's taking advantage of him the way that she is. She's being kind of not cool in this book. I really liked Bella in the first one. I thought that she had kind of a bad rep, but she's kind of earning that in this book. She's being sort of mean to everyone she interacts with. I remember when the movies were coming out, I was Team Jacob, but I want to clarify that I wasn't team shipping Bella with Jacob. I was team shipping myself with Jacob. At least Bella starts to realize that she has been inconsiderate to everyone around her, and she starts to feel bad about it. I have to give her some credit. She keeps acting like she's annoyed with Jessica for being mad at her, but Jessica has every right to be mad at her. She dragged her to a horror movie that I'm pretty sure Jessica didn't even want to see. Left, like, for half of the movie to go get popcorn because she didn't want to watch it. Left Jessica in there by herself watching a creepy zombie movie, and then when they walk out and they're walking in the dark and Jessica's clearly freaked out that they're walking alone in the dark, she goes to those guys outside the bar and like freaks Jessica out. Of course Jessica's mad at her. Like, why would she not be? Bella just got a head injury and she started bleeding, and Jacob was like, oh my gosh, you're bleeding, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, and he was like, why are you apologizing for bleeding? Oh my god, I'm so full of emotions right now. Why am I so full of emotions? What the heck? Look at my son. So I'm 202 pages into this book, and I'm just curious, when does plot start happening? Is there a plot in this book? You people just listen here, okay? Jacob Black is a good person. He's a good boy. He's a cinnamon roll sunshine beam, and he deserves happiness. So Jacob is turning into a werewolf right now, right? That's what's happening. That's why he's sick and growing fast and everything. Why can't I read about that? Why do I have to read about Bella sitting around? Charlie says, "That's a good idea. You've been spending so much time with Jacob, your other friends are going to think you've forgotten them." I smiled and nodded, as if I cared what my other friends thought. Yes, finally some wolves. Yes. No, why did she turn my sunshine boy into a mean person? Why can she only write assholes? How come that's the only type of character that Stephanie Meyer knows how to write? Just let Jacob be a sweet little cinnamon roll. You don't have to make him all mean. I don't want this. Why am I even reading this? Why is Bella so dumb? They're obviously all turning into wolves. It's not that hard to figure out. I mean, I could understand her not putting these things together if the whole first book didn't happen. Like, if she didn't know about vampires, I would totally understand why she wouldn't jump to the conclusion that they're turning into wolves. But she knows that vampires exist. So if I knew vampires existed, I'd believe in everything, frankly. You know what I was just thinking of that was kind of funny? I realized that when these books were coming out, people didn't necessarily know that Bella and Edward were end game, you know? So, like, Jacob kind of stood a chance, I guess. So when he just friend broke up with her, I had a thought, what if each book in this series was just her getting her heart broken by a different kind of monster boy? Like, what if Eclipse was about some guy named Derek, and he was, like, a zombie? This is hilarious to me. He's having to make her guess that he's a werewolf, but he's already told her, and he's, like, frustrated with her because he told her in the first book, and I was thinking, surely he didn't tell her about the wolf legends in the first book, and that only happened in the movie. I was thinking that I remembered a scene from the movie instead of the book, because if he had already told her, then she would just be stupid to not already realize what was going on. But I guess she's just stupid. Okay, don't make fun of my terrible new haircut. I know I look like Disaster Elastigirl, and my friends have already made me cry about it, so don't add to my low self-esteem, but I kind of miss Edward. And not because I, like, miss Edward, but because I miss plot happening. If she says, "I shuddered, but it had nothing to do with the cold," one more time, I'm gonna lose it. So Bella's out here thinking she wants to be with Jacob now, I guess. And then Alice shows up and she drops him like a sack of bricks. And she lays down in Alice's lap and cries and, like, holds on to Alice's clothes and is like, "Don't leave me." And Alice is like, I think I'm gonna spend the night at my house that I have here. And Bella's like, "No, spend the night in my room, Alice. I've missed you." They're gay. I ship it. Get you a man who will read New Moon to you on an illegal PDF for your long-distance FaceTime date night because you don't feel like reading it anymore.
Perfectly legal. It's fine. Just one more thing. I waited. He didn't continue. Yes, I finally prompted.
Okay, so they just found out that Edward's about to kill himself with the Volturian whatever, so they're just going to drop everything and go over there. But I'm wondering, what about Victoria? Because she's killing people, and she was worried about Jacob dying just, like, 2 pages ago. So she's, like, planning to die here. But her dad's best friend just died. And she's just going to go die? Selfish bitch!
Just tell them it broke me again.
So, Devin has just pointed out something that I didn't realize, which is that Edward was in Rio when he found out that Bella died. So he would have had to take a plane too. So really, he should be getting to Italy around the same time that they are. but he's already there, and we don't know how that happened. And I'm thinking he just power swam across the ocean, because it's the only thing that makes any sense. Hi, from my car. Earlier this morning, I just wondered to myself, when is this book due back at the library? So I checked, and today, it's due today. And I have a lot left because I'm a slow reader and I'm bad at booktube. So I panicked because I don't want to pay a late fee, and I also had to work today, and I'm just leaving work now. So I was like, what do I do? So I found the audiobook and I was listening to it while I was in the lab. There's still an hour left on the audiobook, so still not really close to being done. It's 4 o'clock right now, and the library closes at 6. So, oh my god, do you know what I just realized? I found the audiobook, so I could just go home and turn it in right now and just finish it with the audiobook. I am the stupidest person that I know. So I guess I'm not in a hurry. But I'll just tell you what my thoughts were anyway while I was in the lab, because I couldn't vlog, obviously. So I'm finally at the part where cool stuff is happening, or I was. Cool stuff is over now. But we're there in Volterra, and the Volturi are there, and they're really cool, and I just feel robbed because this whole book has been super boring and pointless, and then at the very end you're gonna stuff in all this cool stuff. I'm angry. It's so cool, and like, why couldn't the whole book just be these yummy, scary Italian vampires? I was robbed. That would be so cool if the whole book was just like the Volturi. They lured all the tourists into their creepy castle and they ate them all. That's so cool. I mean, it's sad. That's really sad. But this is what I signed up for. This is what I wanted when I started reading a vampire romance. Like, give me that. Oh, there's a cop. 1 second. Don't behave like me. Do not vlog while you're driving. I'm being safe. I have both hands on the wheel and I'm not looking at my phone. I just have it in front of me. But still. I'm thinking maybe I should just read Anne Rice, because I've heard that's basically what her books are. Like cool, scary, fancy, awesome vampires. Oh, Arrow laughed. Ha ha ha. He chuckled. That's a good line right there. I'm so proud of her writing skills. I am really annoyed at the whole Romeo and Juliet thing that's going on here. Because it's like she doesn't know the point of Romeo and Juliet, which in my opinion is that it's a cautionary tale about teenage stupidity. It's funny to me that she gets mad at Charlie for being mad that Edward has come back and like banning him from the house and stuff, because freaking of course, like duh, he's just a good dad. Why is she mad at him? Okay, I turned it in and I got clips, and I went to a different branch of my library system than the one that I used to work at. Because last time I went, they were pretty judgy. They were like, Katie, why are you reading Twilight? Why do you read so slow? This is my new library. I hope nobody that I used to work with is watching this video. So I remembered just a second ago something that made me laugh really hard when I was listening to the audiobook at work. And that is, there's this scene where Bella thinks that she is dead because she's dreaming and she thinks she's in heaven or whatever because of Edward's beautiful angelic face. So she's like, oh, I'm dead. Crap. And it made me laugh because Stephanie Meyer doesn't like to use curse words, and I respect that. I think that's great. Good on her. But it just always makes me laugh when I'm reading a book and you can tell that the author is trying really hard not to use curse words, but then they use something like crap or geez or man, oh man, that sure is lousy. She has an epiphany that the reason that she was hearing his voice when she was doing stupid shit is because he loves her. I have a question. Why are all of the vampires immune to Bella except for Alice? Because we've already seen that Alice's powers sometimes don't work on people if they're werewolves. So why did they work on Bella? Alright, well, it's over. And my main complaint is that this book did not need to exist because there is no plot. And I think the only reason New Moon is a thing is because Stephanie Meyer wanted to introduce the Volturi and the werewolves, and she also wanted there to be a love triangle. All of those things could have been fit into a couple chapters in Eclipse. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like or subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think of New Moon down in the comments, and I will see you all again very, very soon with my Eclipse vlogs. But until then, happy reading! Bye!